Hello and welcome back to Writing a Master's Thesis in 10 Weeks video series. This is the video 3 out of 10. And the reasons why I'm doing this is because I want to put myself under pressure and help myself reach this goal. So what did I accomplish last week? So based on the book's 4 Habits of Execution, I will only show based on the book's principles, which is creating a scoreboard. So what I accomplished last week. So in total, I did 10 and a half hours of work, and my goal was actually to reach 16 hours, but due to traveling last week and some other small mistakes that I made, I didn't reach that, so I was 5.5 hours too short. But then again, when I'm looking at the page count, which I'm having here, so this is the main thesis, I have 17 pages done and 10 pages of notes, so it's not a bad score. So one very important insight that I've made during this process is that if you really want to save time in writing your master's thesis, I recommend that you do the following. So whenever you're reading and going through an article, so here's an article that I'm using for my thesis, have your article on one side and then have also a document where you're writing your notes. So whenever you're reading an article, you should write your own notes about that article, and do not copy and paste ever from the article directly, but write it in your own words to this notes document so that you can use that text. And when you have gone through the whole article and written your notes, then you should immediately place those notes into your own main thesis. And one important thing too is that you already in the beginning make a draft out of your thesis structure so that you can put these notes where they belong. So for example, something about the introduction put into the introductory part, or maybe some literature review part, and the methodology parts into the methodology part, and so on and so forth. And you should try to do this all in just one session, so that when you still remember, you have the memory fresh memory about your thesis notes, then you don't need to put more time during the next session into just trying to remember, what were these notes about, so that you will save time. You don't need to anymore put time into trying to remember what your notes were about. So this is one very important factor that has speed up my writing process. And what will I do next week, or this week? I will try to put 15 hours of work into my thesis writing. I do enjoy beginning my days by reading a book, so I think that if I put 3 hours of work each day into my thesis writing, and preferably every day at the same time, I can reach this. I can reach these 15 hours of work. And my goal is to achieve 20 pages of into the main thesis text. This is actually wrong. Now that I have 17 pages, I would try to reach 27 pages this week. And I think that with the previous method that I showed to you, it should be actually quite attainable. It should be. And that's it. See you next week.